We're going to start off, of course, with the Bengals Chiefs AFC Championship game. And we know how it ended, but to start, I was like, man, this is Mahomes. He runs this. Flawless first half from Mahomes. 18 for 21, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He had the same amount of touchdowns as he had incompletions, Jay. Mahomes played incredible in the first half. To have the 3 touchdowns and 3 incompletions is ridiculous, but
Yeah.
you're up 21-10. You got a chance to score before the half and then get the ball back, Jay. You got 5 seconds left from the 2-yard line, and you're not getting any points out of that. You don't have any timeouts, and you throw the ball to Tyreek Hill. He can't get out of bounds. Clock winds out. You're out of time. You go to halftime, not getting any points, and that was a momentum shift. So
That was the biggest momentum shift.
in that play, I believe what he was supposed to do is look across the middle, and if it's not there, just launch it 10 feet above anybody's head right out of the end zone. But he wanted to make a play. He went to Tyreek. He thought Tyreek could make a play too, and Tyreek couldn't get the outside. He couldn't get out of bounds in time, and that I feel like that lit a fire under the Bengals. Like that might have been all they needed to turn things around.
And the key defeating factor was he just kept dancing.
He did. I was just
problem.
about to get to that. When it comes to the second half,
Okay.
when it came to the second half, the Bengals, from what I saw, were mostly just rushing 3 and then keeping a spy on Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing his little ballerina tricks, trying to spin out of everything, and it wasn't working as much in the second half. If you look at his numbers in the second half, he was shaking. He was rattled. He was 8 for 18, 55 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks. This is from the halftime on, so including overtime. But another thing that I want to point out, Jay, and this is probably going to be surprising to you, Burrow was sacked 1 time, and Patrick Mahomes was sacked 4 times.
I think that's like the biggest key factor out of this whole thing is that he was sacked 1 time.
Mm-hmm.
1 time. Considering that his O-line was getting eaten up throughout the whole... Well, they weren't getting eaten up throughout the whole playoffs, but they did disappear a couple times throughout the season and against the Titans. But also his feet were moving. He was more mobile in that pocket. And he wasn't... He said, hey, listen, you're going to have to hit me if you want me to go down.
Yeah.
I'm not going down by a touch of a finger, boy. I got this. I need this.
And if I told you that it was going to be Patrick Mahomes' legs that were costly and it was Joe Burrow's legs that won the game, you'd say I'm an idiot. You'd say I'm psycho. What the hell am I on? But, bro, Joe Burrow's legs won that game. I know he's a great quarterback. I know he's got a great arm. He's accurate. But his legs won that game. 2nd and 10 on your own 46. Burrow's hit in the backfield. Would have been a 9-10 yard loss, except he's out of there. He gets out of there, throws a first down. So instead of 3rd and 19, now you got 1st and 10 while you're down and you're moving the ball across midfield. Mm-hmm. Then you got Burrow evading a sack that would have been about 7-8 yards twice in the same play. He evaded 2 sacks on the same play. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but pocket collapses. He's got a man reaching over the top. He's on his way down. He's like sitting in the chair. He gets up, gets out of there. Clark swipes at his legs, he evades, and then he runs for a first down on 3rd and 7. After that, on the next set of downs, right after he converted on 3rd and 7, you're back to another 3rd and 7. Burrow runs for a first again. I don't know exactly when this was because CBS had a little broadcast error, so the screen or the overlay wasn't showing the score in time. So I can't pinpoint exactly where it was, but I do know that those were 2 huge plays while the Bengals were going down the field to take the lead. So instead, if he doesn't run for those first downs, you're punting the ball back to Kansas City. I know Mahomes wasn't good in the second half, but you never know what can happen, especially when you stop him and you get a punt, because they weren't punting much in the second half. I know Burrow got picked, but they were not punting much in the second half.
Joe Burrow, 28 for 38, 250 yards. That's not even him. I think that's probably... I would probably say that's probably lowest passing yards in the game throughout the whole season, honestly.
Pretty much.
250 yards. 2 touchdowns, an interception.
I feel like
I don't know what happened.
The stats are a little misleading. I mean, not misleading. You know, Mahomes played a good first half, a tough second half, but the stats will tell you he played all right. Same thing with Burrow. He didn't do much in the first half. Stats will tell you he played all right because he played a good second half. But I'm telling you, Mahomes at the end of the first half, throwing a ball to Tyreek Hill with no time to get out of bounds, no time to get down and call a timeout because you ran out of timeouts, not getting points there was one of the more costly plays of the game. And Joe Burrow, with his legs, evading sacks, throwing and rushing for big first downs. I mean, these three plays that I listed off a couple minutes ago, both drives ended in field goals that were huge.
Mm-hmm.
One of the field goals was to make it 21-13, make it a one-possession game, and the other field goal was to go ahead 24-21. You don't score there, Chiefs might have the last possession. They ended up scoring on their last possession. So if you ended up not scoring, Chiefs go down and win 24-21.
Defense showed up, and they put the pressure on his ass and had him dancing. That's what I would say, though. I think that was his biggest defeating factor. The fact that he was too busy trying to dance and move around and actually make a play.
I would agree.
I
would agree.
I just feel like, all that dancing, you might as well just throw the ball away. If there's no receiver open, easy to throw the ball away, at least run for 5 yards. Because if they're going to have all those defenders back there and you got the linemen still blocking the DNs and the linemen, it's like, what are you doing, dog? It's just nothing. There's no point of you running back and forth 10 yards. I
agree. There was no need for a couple of the sacks. Like, he easily could have evaded, got out of the pocket, maybe run for a couple, but even then, throw the ball away. You're just wasting yards. You're taking yards away, and you're making it harder to convert. So, I mean, a fair amount of this game lies on Patrick Mahomes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say, thank God the winner did not come down to the coin flip. If the Chiefs scored a touchdown on that first drive, there would be outrage, especially here, because I don't care that the Chiefs didn't score. I think that rule is terrible. I'm so glad that it didn't come down to that. All right, we're going to move on. Rams, 49ers, NFC Championship. Now, Jay, starting the game off, 49ers get the ball, and they punt on their first drive. And I'm going to tell you why they punted. It's because George Kittle was wide open up the middle, and Jimmy G missed him. That's why they punted.
It's coming back to haunt him.
He was not only open. There is a chance, not a big chance, but a small chance that he could have broke that for a touchdown. It was at least 25 plus, and he was crossing midfield. But overthrow from Jimmy G, the usual, and they punted it away. Rams opened up with a good drive. Unlucky interception. I do want to go ahead towards the Rams' second drive because I think this was the most important drive of the game, and it shows why they won. The Rams' second drive was 18 plays. They went 97 yards to score a touchdown, and they did it in over 9 minutes. Best drive of the year for the Rams in terms of plays, yards, and time, and they ended up scoring a touchdown. 9+ minutes is important, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because they dominated time of possession. Rams had the ball for 36 minutes, and the 49ers only had it for 24. 26 total more plays for the Rams, and when you give your playmakers 26 additional chances to make a play, they're going to do it. You're down 10, 17-7, and again, your playmakers are making plays. Cooper Kupp, probably top 3 MVP. He could be number 1 if you ask me. Odell making plays. Shout out to Odell and Kupp. Odell had 9 receptions for 113 yards. Kupp had 11 receptions for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here's what I will say. Jimmy G played a solid football game, per usual. He was solid. I will say, if you look at the stats, you'll say, oh, man, under 50%, interception, not that good. I think Jimmy G played a solid football game. But Jimmy G cannot close because he is not enough of a weapon on offense. This is the second time in 2 years in San Francisco that San Fran has lost their final game of the year in the playoffs when leading by 10 points. Rams have a drive to tie. Odell, Kupp, Odell, field goal. Just like that. Odell catches 2, Kupp catches 1, field goal. But if you remember the start of that drive, Tart is his last name. Dropped the interception. Everyone is going to beat him up about that. I'm going to tell you right now. Let it go. I'm going to tell you why you need to let it go. The Rams scored, right? It was 3. It was a field goal. They scored a field goal to tie. You have to score the ball. It's a tie game. It doesn't matter what happened. You have to score. You have to make up for that. However, the Rams dropped a wide open touchdown too. Skoranek, I believe is his name. Wide open. DB didn't even know where he went, and he dropped it. Wide open touchdown. Plays are going to happen like that where you mess up. You got to make up for it. The Rams made up for it, and the 49ers didn't. 17-17 with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left. Go win. I don't want to hear about this dropped interception. It doesn't matter to me.
You said they only gave up 3 points, and in my head, I was like, all right, you dropped that ball. One bad, poor hand-eye coordination. That was terrible. If you ever watched the replay, it's so bad. Yeah. Like you said, man, that defense, I was like, oh, I'm moping over. And he moped over it throughout the whole drive, and that's probably why they still gave up those 3 points. Gave up 3, so now it's really time for, if the game is tied, it's time for you to actually go on the field and score a touchdown.
Right.
Even a field goal at that.
Exactly.
Not even a touchdown. You can't really blame him for that because everybody makes mistakes, but throughout that whole game, you made a mistake. You got that flag, that helmet to helmet on OBJ. That was a flag. It gave up extra 15 yards.
Already 30 yards, and you gave him an extra 15.
Yeah, and actually gave him extra 15 off that stupid hit.
No.
Like, he's already on the floor. Like, what is the point of you coming in?
Don't even have to hit him at all. Like, just tap him on the head and tell him he's down because he was already on the ground.
Bad decision making in that last quarter from the San Francisco 49ers defense. I give Jimmy G his props, man. You know, even though we went 16 for 30.
This is what concerns me about people that are going to look at the stats of this game, because if you look at the stats, you would say he didn't play a bad game, but his long, he threw a 50-yard touchdown. He threw the ball sideways, and Deebo Samuel ran for 50 yards. So, listen, don't look at the box score. If you watch the game, he played all right. Like I said, it comes down to not being able to close. The final 3 drives, Jay, hear me out. Final 3 drives for San Francisco. 12 plays, 28 yards on the final 3 drives. They got 28 yards in 3 drives on 12 plays. If nothing else, this game showed you why the Rams traded for Matt Stafford, and this game also showed you why the 49ers traded for Trey Lance.
Yo, I was not expecting that, dog. I was not expecting that at all. Wow.
All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all for watching.
Much love.
If you like this video, like the video.
Shout out to Peyton.
Subscribe to the channel. Man. Check out the Talk of the Town playlist. Link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see y'all next week.